Hello, this is Tigress Nisha and welcome to No Man's Sky. This is video 2 of my tips, tricks, strategies, and advice for my newbies and semi-newbies in the game. I wanted to pick up where I left off. There are a couple things that I didn't mention when it came to making units and making nanites, so I wanted to touch on that. And then I also wanted to get into upgrading your technology, jumping from system to system, the cartography maps, and also, if we have time, your freighter, and maybe fighting monstrosities. All right, so let's jump right into it. First thing, storm crystals. So storm crystals are found on planets with extreme temperatures, as you can see here, and you'll know because you'll see that in the bottom left hand corner of your screen there. And the only time that you'll find them is during an extreme storm like what's going on right now. And what you have to do is use your scanner, and if you look, all of a sudden you see these lightning bolt icons light up, and that is a storm crystal. So what you do, and this is for making units, you just run around and you collect them, and that is all that you do. So you run around for as long as the storm lasts, however long that lasts. On this particular planet that I'm on, they seem to last a pretty long time, anywhere from 4 to 6 minutes. So you have 4 to 6 minutes to just run around and get as many storm crystals as you possibly can. Sometimes you'll find them one at a time, sometimes you'll find them in groups, as you just saw. So this is all that you have to do. Once you're done collecting all your storm crystals, you just bring them to a space station and you can sell them at a galactic trade terminal. And that's it. That is all there is to it. Sometimes you don't even need to use the scanner because they sometimes, especially when it's dark, they stick out like sore thumbs because they glow so much. All right. So those are storm crystals. Next, and this is just a way to make some quick nanites if you happen to see it in the field, but that's going to be your damaged technology, and I don't see any right here. Let's see if I happen to find some by this buried technology, because sometimes the buried technology and the salvage data are found around each other, but in this case I do not see any, but that's all right. When you check your scanner, you're going to see a icon that looks like a cog, if you know what that is, and you just have to highlight it, find it, and once you select it, all you have to do is then remove whatever the substance is off of it by discarding it with your, again, I'm on PS4, so it would be your your R3 button, just holding that down and clicking that, and then it'll give you nanites. Sometimes it'll give you other things like blueprints or components or upgrades. All right, so you'll get some of those things from it. All right, so can't quite find damaged machinery, but you will definitely see it. It says damaged machinery when you see it on your in your visor. All right, so next I wanted to get into, and I'm going to go to another planet for this. But I wanted to talk about salvaging, or I'm sorry, scrapping starships. Okay, so scrapping starships, you find starships that have been crashed, and what you can do is then take the crashed starship, take it to a space station, and you can sell it for parts and nanites at that. So what you would have to do is use a distress signal, or you may happen to come by one of a crashed ship. And once you do that, you have to repair some technology to be able to fly it and get it to your space station. And then there's a terminal there that you can use to scrap the starship. All right, and so I happen to have found a crashed starship here, so I just put down a beacon. And what you would do is you would use two different things. You can use the planetary chart and select that, and that will do a scan of the planets and find different structures. But in this case, I found a crashed starship. And this is one of those weird monochromatic planets. So everything looks gray except during a storm, which is odd. So anyway, so here is my crashed ship. All right. As a matter of fact, this is a damaged machinery right here. And you would remove that, and then you will get nanites. Okay, I just happened to find one right there. All right, so here is our crashed ship. So I'm going to select this guy and take a look at it. So when you find a crashed ship, you're gonna see all these different things that have been damaged on it. Okay. Looks a little intimidating at first. It's, you know, it's pretty good. It's a B class. Has some technology slots and some of your general slots. All right, so what you're going to do is I happen to have one slot for a ship. You have a maximum of 6 ships, 1 as your primary that you fly, and then 5 in your inventory. I just happen to have an empty slot in my inventory. So what I'm going to do is not swap ships, because I don't want to swap from my S class, but I'm going to claim the ship. All right. Once I've done that, now it's a matter of fixing certain technology just to be able to get it to the space station. You don't need to fix everything unless you're going to keep it. Then you're going to have to fix everything. Otherwise, the only 2 things that you have to fix are going to be the launch thrusters, which in this case isn't broken, which is lucky, and the pulse engine. So you want the launch thrusters just to be able to get the ship off the planet, and you want the pulse engine to be able to get to the space station in a good amount of time. So in this case, the pulse engine needs hermetic seal and metal plating, so I'm going to craft that. All right, so we're going to craft one of these, and we're going to craft one of those. All right, I'm just going to enter the ship here. All right, and so we're just going to repair this guy. All right, and now it's ready to go. So now we're just going to fly right to the space station, and I'm going to show you right what to do, where to go to scrap it. So let's go right to the space station there. All right, shouldn't take too long. So there's an actual station for your starship where you can scrap a starship, you can upgrade the slots on it, or you can upgrade the class of the ship. So for example, from B to A class. All right, and that is where we're going to go to scrap this ship. All right. Hoping to get a better price since it is B class. All right, and you're not going to get units. You're going to get components that you can sell, and you're going to get upgrade modules that you can sell for nanites. So you're not going to exactly get piece units. So here's where you go. It's going to be on the right hand side once your ship turns, and you come right up to this guy here. And as you can see, you can upgrade Starship and you can claim scraps worth, and in this case, 520,000 units. So I'm going to claim scrap. All right. And there you go. And that is all there is to it. As you can see it cycling through the different modules and different components that I got. So I'm just going to run right over here to the Galactic Trade Terminal, and I'm going to sell off those different components that I just got. Okay, and they will add up to 520,000 as you saw. So, and you know, you can go to different star systems to try to get a better price. Like this is demand is negative 14%. You want something higher. I really don't, you know, care that much, so I'm just going to sell it all here. All right, so I've sold all that. In addition, I have some modules, some upgrade modules. So I'm gonna go over here, and this is also what we're going to talk about with upgrading your exosuit and other technologies. But you can go over here to wherever you get upgrade modules, and you can sell them as well. All right, so you say purchase, but you're going to go in here and say sell, and then boom, they show up right here. And these are going to be for 145 and 136. So I'm going to sell those both off. All right, and there you go. And so I have now scrapped that ship for both things. All right, it's a little bit more involved than the other methods. I don't use it that much, but some of the players live and die by scrapping ships. That is their bread and butter. So if you like to go around finding different ships, that's the way to go. All right. So one thing I wanted to say, well, a couple things about system jumping. Okay, so you're going to, and we're going to talk about upgrades, but at some point you're going to want to upgrade your hyperdrive. Okay, you're going to want to upgrade your hyperdrive, and you're going to want to upgrade to a cadmium drive, and that lets you get to systems with red stars. Then your emerald drive, which lets you get to systems with green stars, and then finally your iridium drive, which lets you get to systems with blue stars. Okay, and something to remember that I just learned actually recently from another player, once you get your indium drive, you don't need the other two anymore. You can just remove them and get some of your materials back. All right, so once you install that, you're good to go to any system. All right, so so I wanted to talk again just a little bit about system jumping. One thing I will say is that you might want to come up with some sort of naming convention for your star systems that you visit, and I'm just talking about the important ones, ones where you may want to build on. There may be some material you want to go back to. There may be a portal there. Just whatever, for whatever reason you want to get back to that system. Like I said, I would say to have some sort of naming convention. Okay. In my case, I like to keep track of who's the closest to the galactic core as I system jump, because sometimes you wind up jumping around to other systems and it's easy to lose who's the closest. So what I do is actually use a naming convention such as I will use A1, A2, A3, A4. And what I do is I just take the name that's given, you know, that the game has given it, and I will add A1, A2, A3 to the name, right? So, you know, and I'm a bit of a nerd, so I get all, you know, so I'll go from A1 all the way to A9, and then it goes AA, AB, AC, all the way to Z. Start back over with B1. Okay? And that, I love that way to keep track, because obviously whoever's the last one is going to be the closest. You may just want to do simply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whatever makes sense to you. Whatever makes sense to you in the game itself. Okay. So next, I wanted to talk about upgrading your technologies, upgrading what it could do, and upgrading the slots. Okay. So first thing I want to do is upgrade, talking about upgrading your technology. So what you're going to find, again, on the right hand side, if you remember the space starship upgrade, same side, you're going to find 4 different desks. First guy is going to be for your exosuit. Alright. Next guy is going to be for your exocraft. The next guy is going to be for your starship. And then finally, you're going to find a guy for your multi-tool. Okay, so you talk to him and you go purchase modules, and you're going to see modules from C to S. S, of course, being the best. And you just go in here and select which one you want. The higher the class on that module, the more nanites you're going to need to purchase them. All right. And so, you know, you just purchase whatever you want, and then when you're ready, you're going to have that module. Let me just show you what I'll just purchase a C class and just show you what it looks like quickly. Let's see. Let's just go to our starship, and let's just purchase a real quick C class and show you that guy. So if we do a C-class hyperdrive, now if I come here, that's what this guy looks like. You press the install button, come over here to your starship, and just add that guy in. Now this puts my technology on overload, as you can see, so which is a good example. You can only put but so many upgrades at a time on your technology. So I'm just going to have to remove that C back off. Okay. So also just something to mention that you may not know. If you just saw how it overloaded the hyperdrive, but what you can do is split it up. What you do is you put 3 or 4 upgrades to the hyperdrive on your general, and then go into your technology and you can add another 3. That's why I can get about almost 2,500 hyperdrive range. because you can add extra. So just remember that when it overloads on the general, go over to technology and add more there. Same thing with pulse engines. Okay, so just a little tip to do there. All right, so that's updating. So that's just general. Again, that's just a general updating of your different technologies. All right, and each space station is going to vary what it is. So make sure to run around to your different space stations so you can find that. All right. Next, updating the slots on your Starship and your Exosuit. Now, when you go to, again, any space station, you can come in here and you can say update Starship. Okay, you can use storage augmentations, which you can Google out there to find out how to get those. I don't really get those that much, so I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction. So definitely take a look out for that. But you can also just purchase storage units on, storage slots on your ship. My ship happens to be completely maxed out with an S-class for technology and my general inventory. But what happens is that you're going to see basically a price of units, and that's how much you spend for the slot, and it's going to be for technology and for your general inventory. And the more slots you get, the more they're going to cost. So they may be 50,000 now, but next time you go to upgrade, they could be 60. Then when you go again, they could be 75,000. So they just keep going up. All right, so that's just something to keep in mind as you go through and try to upgrade everything. Okay. So next is going to be your exosuit. Now right now it's not coming up because I already have the max, and I already got it from this star system. So what happens is that you'll see a little image pop up of basically your backpack. And what you can do is press your square button and select it. And same thing like your Starship, you're going to be able to add more slots to your exosuit, and that means to your general, to your technology, and to your cargo. They all cost different. They all cost different prices for your cargo. Cargo is usually worth more, so you'll pay more in units to upgrade it. Technology, I think, is the least, and then of course you have your general. And again, as you get more slots, they get more expensive. All right, so that's just something to keep in mind. So that is one way to get slots. Another way, also, when you are on, let's see. So when you go into a new star system, what you can also do is use the Anomaly to get another one. So what you do is you go into the Anomaly here, and actually I just learned this myself, so thank you to the other vet players out there. And what it is if you go to the Exosuit research station, there you're going to find another station where you can get another Exosuit slot upgrade. All right, so let me show you where that is. Okay. All right, let's run back here. So if you remember the Anomaly here and running around through it, if you come right over here that is going to be the Exosuit research, and right behind him right there hiding. And I just never noticed it there, but it's, you know, obvious. It's obvious now that it's right there. So you can, so every system you can get up to 2 slots. All right, and also there is one more way to increase the slots on your exosuit, and that's going to be using drop pod coordinates. Okay, so there, what you would do is you're going to use your signal booster to and use the drop pod coordinates, and this is what they look like. And you can usually find them at the different outposts that you find, and you can find different components. Sometimes you find them at space stations as well. But you're going to want to find those guys. All right. And once you find that, you put in the coordinates, it sends it out. It finds those drop pod coordinates for you. And then all you have to do then is put in certain elements into into it in order to recover the coordinate there. So instead of needing units, you're going to need ionized cobalt, an antimatter, and you're also going to need sodium nitrate. So right now I'm trying to find my way back to one of my bases. All right. Trying to find the system, but this is fine. I can just teleport back. All right. So those are upgrading your slots, and that is upgrading your technology itself. Okay. So now I wanted to get into the cartography maps, or your planetary charts. That's really what they're called, planetary charts. Okay, and your planetary charts are going to help you find different locations all over the planet when it comes to manufacturing plants, trading posts, inhabited outposts, transmission towers, ancient ruins, things like that you sometimes come across randomly, but in this case you want to actually find them. All right, so once we're able to get out here, I'm going to let's see, so it takes a little bit of time to actually fly there, so let's teleport there. All right, so when it comes to the blueprints, there are 4 different kinds of blueprints. I'm sorry, planetary charts. I keep wanting to call them maps and blueprints. There's going to be one for secure sites of interest like manufacturing plants and operation centers, supply depots, kind of your secret, secret locations. Another one is going to be for different kinds of ancient ruins that you can find all over the planets. The next one is going to be things like it's going to be like trading posts and observation towers and things like that. So your commercial towers there. All right. So when you come into your space station on the left hand side, this first guy is going to be your cartographer. All right. So we're going to talk to him. All right. And you're going to need, there's 3 ways of getting information from this guy to get an actual location itself. So you can ask for help, and that'll just give you a random location somewhere. Okay. The next thing is you can actually purchase maps for nanites, but you don't know what kind of planetary chart you're going to get. It's completely random. Okay, so the method I prefer is going to be the second method, which is to exchange maps. So what you can do is you can use your navigational, and I don't have any right now, you can use your navigational data to purchase them right here. So I'll just show what those look like here. All right. And here are the 4 different types. As I said, you're going to have the inhabited outposts. You're going to have those ancient artifact sites, so ancient ruins and whatnot. And then you're also going to have distress signals. Okay. And then that last one, secure sites of interest. Okay. So depending on what you're looking for, you're going to get your map. And you're going to come into your inventory and then just hover over that guy, and you're going to hit on plot route. Okay. In this case, I did a secure site, and it found a secure supply depot. All right. So that's what I can use right there. Now, let's see if I can find one specific type of secure spot, and that's exactly what I'm looking for, is a manufacturing facility. That takes me right into the next thing I want to talk about, which was a specific type of mapping, and that's going to be the manufacturing facility. I just have a couple of tips on how to deal with the manufacturing facility itself. So let's try to get to that guy. And it's going to go toward this guy right here. So let's actually get to it. All right. And so from your manufacturing facilities, they're important because you're going to have to go to them to be able to get certain blueprints and recipes that'll help you, again, progress along in the game and be able to craft items that are worth more as you move along in the game. All right, let's see if we can find a place to land. All right. Having a hard time landing, and there we go, finally. All right. So, all right, so let's get over here to that manufacturing plant. And you're going to have to worry about sentinels here, so just be forewarned. Let's see, so I'm going to switch to my bolt caster. All right. And for manufacturing facilities, you have to break in, so you're going to have to break down this door. You're going to get the attention of the sentinels. As long as you have good shielding, you can just break through that door pretty easily. Now, here is the trick. Because you have to answer questions in order to get the reward from a manufacturing plant. But sometimes you answer it wrong and you don't get it. So I found a way around that. So what you do is you're going to use your save point or a save beacon. All right, so we're going to create that, and I'm going to use that guy and save my game. So, and remember, this is before you answer the question. All right, so now I'm going to go to the terminal here and read through this. All right, and I'm going to provide it, let's see, magnetized fluoride. All right, I happen to pick the right one because everything shuts down and the red lights go off. But if I had selected the wrong answer, what you do is, let's see, I still have a couple of things to learn still in here that I could get. Let's learn that guy. So what you would do is you would go into your options and just reload your manual save. And that will take you to the point right before you answered the question. So you just keep doing that until you get the right answer, and then you will get, as you saw, either recipes, nanites, or units. It is up to you what you get. I would say go with the recipes first. Once you get everything, then try getting nanites and units, because there are other ways of making nanites and units. All right. So that is the way to deal with manufacturing plants, okay, or manufacturing facilities. One thing I will mention real quick that sounds silly, but I just want to mention it real quick. Whenever you go to a new location, for sure you want to save at the little location sector, a little terminal thing there, because you're going to get a navigation data, and you might even get some nanites. All right. So, and there you go, I got about 10 nanites. So you're going to want to save anywhere you go to those locations. Plus it helps because you get nanites again when you turn in your upload your locations and whatnot in discoveries. All right, so now I'm going to make it back to my ship here. All right, so let's see if I can talk a little bit about freighters. All right, so let's see if I have time to talk about freighters. So freighters, you get a chance to find and buy freighters when you go in and defend them when you come into a new star system. So it's going to ask you, so it's going to ask you if you want to get a reward, or you can buy the freighter itself. All right, so let's see if I can remember where my freighter is. All right. So a freighter, you can build bases, you can warp, you can do missions, you have all your ships there, and you can also visit any of your you have visiting NPCs. So you have people visiting with different ships. So if you happen to be in a wealthy star system, you may get some exotics and whatnot. So you definitely want to get a freighter. So let's see if I can find my freighter. All right. I cannot find my freighter today, so I'm going to leave that for for another video right now, so I apologize. I'll leave that for another video. I'll just get into one last small little subject here, and that's dealing with monstrosities, if you have run into those guys. So those you find at those haunted, abandoned outposts. And that's where you find those eggs. And when you shoot them, all of a sudden you see these what they call monstrosities run out towards you, and they jump and they do all those kinds of things. So I have a good way of dealing with those. Dealing with those guys, and I'm gonna pass that by right now. And I just wanted to show you how to deal with that, but I'll definitely come back with another video and talk about freighters, because they're going to be very helpful, I think, to you. They're very helpful as far as also making you nanites and getting you all kinds of components and things from different missions and units as well. So so let's see if I can get to this site here. Slow down, let it load a little bit. All right. So I would say, and I know there are other weapons that you can do this with, but I prefer the Geology Cannon. It does a lot of damage, especially when you can get it nice and upgraded. I have about 3 different upgrades, S-upgrades, just for S-class upgrades just for this guy. All right. So if we get a little closer here, we have the different eggs. Okay, those are the monstrosity eggs. All right, so when you shoot them, they're going to come out the ground fast, but if you have a geology cannon, you can destroy them right as they come out of the ground, before they have a chance to even completely get out of the ground. All right, now be careful with the geology cannon. It is very easy to kill yourself. So hopefully I won't kill myself right now. All right, so let's move back a little bit just to make sure. All right, so now I'm going to shoot this guy. All right, here they go. So there you have it, and they're just going to keep sprouting, and all you do is keep throwing those geology cannons, and it becomes easy peasy to deal with them. And they're going to keep coming. And that is all there is to it, to dealing with monstrosities. Nothing else to really do with them. And the reason why I even mention them is because they become important when you do Nexus missions. A lot of Nexus missions are going to be kill 30 monstrosities, you know, at a particular planet and stuff like that. So I just wanted to mention that's how you deal with them. And since I didn't have a chance to get into freighters today, I just wanted to mention, I guess, one more thing about Nexus missions. Let's get the Anomaly here. And that's just to say, and this isn't for all missions, this is only for certain kinds of missions. The missions that ask for different materials, we want to look at those, because I find that if you go into the mission with those materials ahead of time, it makes things go a lot faster, because all you do is it takes you to the system or the planet within this system to go harvest those materials. But if you already have them, it registers, and then you just come back to the Anomaly and hand in the Nexus Missions. So let's see if we can see some of those. Let's see. None right now, but some of them will come up, get 150 activated emerald, get this kind of material. So if you find stuff like that, try to have the material before you go in there, and it'll just make life a little bit easier and go faster with those Nexus missions. All right. So that's going to be my video for today. Again, sorry I couldn't show you the freighter. I'm going to have to find where my freighter is right now, and let me know what you think about this video. Please, I welcome feedback, and if you thought of anything that I left out, please bring them into the comments. And I'm on PS4, Tigress Nisha, same as my YouTube name, with no space. And you could always check me out there or friend me, and we can even chat sometimes in a party and go through some things. All right, next video is going to be about we're going to get into some fun stuff, but that's going to be about some base building, refining, extracting, and farming. So that's getting into the real fun stuff, at least in my opinion. All right, everyone, you have a good one, and happy travels.